So, this week at the Pull Box, we have a lot going on. I wanted to talk about some new releases that weren't in my Pull Box, but still new and interesting. Marvel's been doing a string of Planet of the Apes variant covers, which are all really fun, and they've been continuing to do that. I saw the Moon Knight
one for that. No,
okay.
Okay, yeah, 100%.
Which, I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan. Love it. I'll take it. Not going to buy them. But I still think they're cool and fun anyway. Nightcrawler's #1 comes out, and this is Marvel's new thing in their X universe, which I can't believe they're still doing.
I didn't, but I saw what they're doing with Kurt. Like, basically, there's all kinds of different versions of Nightcrawler.
Yeah, like Mr. Sinister, like, cooked them all up, basically, and they're like a whole squad of Nightcrawlers, but with other X-Men, like, blended in and stuff.
Right.
So that'll be okay, I'm sure. The new Batman came out. This particular one, just Batman is the title. It's on issue 131. This is the only good Batman, in my opinion, right now, other than Detective Comics. That has a pretty good run at the moment. But there's like 13 different Batman series out right now. And honestly, this one's the one worth reading.
Is there a Beyond? Because if not, I don't care.
Nope, not a Beyond. Not at least in right now.
No, not no.
I don't think so.
Terry McGinnis is not in the titles at the moment.
Marvel...
I know James would be the real one to ask on that.
Hey.
You'd be surprised, dude. I'm so on the down and out with anything.
I'm offended, and we're moving on. Marvel Voices Wakanda Forever. It's Black History Month, so Marvel's putting out a special issue for Black History Month focusing on the Black Panther and all the characters in Wakanda. So there's that. And then I grabbed a copy because I'm a sucker for the Archie horror stuff. Betty Final Girl just came out this week, #1. And for anyone that's not familiar, the Archie has a whole spin-off universe called Archie Horror. It's where, I forget the Afterlife with Archie came from, where zombies take over Riverdale. There's Jughead the Hunger, where Jughead's a werewolf. There's Vampironica, where Veronica is a vampire. And then Betty comes from a long line. She's either like the descendant of Van Helsing, or just she comes from a long line of monster hunters, basically.
Okay.
So and I'm assuming... Oh, go ahead.
I apologize. Normally I wouldn't speak on this portion, but Sabrina was originally an Archie character, correct?
Correct.
And her universe is tied into Spooky Archer?
Yeah, well...
Riverdale, Sabrina Archie...
That's all...
The shitty Netflix Sabrina series is based off the comic books from the Archie horror universe, but it's done so much worse.
Well, I mean, I heard that the Sabrina series is kind of taken.
Well, like Afterlife with Archie starts out with Sabrina. The reason the zombies come back is because Sabrina is trying to bring back Jughead's dog from the dead. Jughead's dog died, and he's real sad about it. So she tries to bring him back from the dead, but her aunts find out that she's practicing necromancy, basically, or that spell to bring, something back from the dead, which is not allowed. And they lock her away for like 3,000 years for doing such a thing. But in the process, the spell goes wrong and brings back everyone from the dead.
As things will do when you fuck around with necromancy.
Exactly.
I found out the hard way myself.
There you go.
One last cut in.
Yeah.
If garbage, but it was fun. If you do watch the Sabrina series, the only reason worth watching the Sabrina series is for Dorcas.
Oh, Dorcas, the fucking witch. I remember seeing her. All right, hearing her name.
The hot one.
Forget a name like Dorcas.
The hot one.
I don't remember, but
I
liked the first season.
You do.
I thought the first season was good, but then it was like, I stopped watching when Sabrina looked into the camera and said, "We're going to hell to rescue my boyfriend." I was like, all right, I'm signing off. Here we go. But yeah, I'm sure that's going to be good. I don't know who the killer is or what the monster is, but I'm sure it'll be interesting because all of the Archie horror stuff is good. And then Fantastic Four #4 came out, which we talked about the first issue a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Our first episode, I think. And this has an excellent Alex Ross cover per usual. And so...
He's so good. You know what's weird about Alex Ross is he hates drawing one of my favorite characters.
Who?
Venom.
I believe it.
He hates Venom.
Why? What's his reasoning? Do you know?
Because Venom symbolizes the rise of like the anti-hero, which he believes is just like counter...
Lame.
to like what comics are about heroes and villains.
Okay.
He thinks that basically Punisher is kind of like where you draw the line.
Gotcha.
So like Venom is just too extra, but I can't fault him for that. I believe it. I still respect the fucking dude. He does great artwork. And he did do one drawing of Venom, and it's fucking fantastic.
It's probably awesome.
It's
probably
dude.
awesome.
Yeah.
They're all awesome. But that was everything in my pull box, and I want to take a second to do a new segment where I talk about my favorite cover of the week. And fortunately for Alex Ross, there was a ton of lame covers this fucking week. Other than like the Apes ones are cool, but like that's not what I'm like, oh, that's a great cover. They're just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex
You got a
Ross-
new Apes action figure.
What?
You got new ape.
I've had that one for a long
The Ape
time.
Soldiers. You want to pull it up for the camera?
Yeah, James got this for me for Christmas, I think.
I
years
did,
ago.
didn't I?
Yeah.
I forgot all about it.
No, I love Planet of the Apes.
I just noticed it. It's new to me. And while you're on topic, I just wanted you to pull it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fancy Apes.
But Alex Ross for Fantastic Four #4 gets my favorite cover of the week, and it's rightfully so, because anytime he makes a cover, it's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If I could just have Alex Ross artwork around me, I would
This
be
stuff
happy.
is beautiful, man.
Oh, it's art.
Oh man.
It's art. It reminds me of the first Fantastic Four, or Fantastic Four #1, the original cover that he did, which I want as a giant poster. Like, it's just fucking cool. Like, the with the mole monster coming out of the ground.
Yeah,
But it's done in awesome Alex Ross work, so...
Would you get it as a tattoo?
No, that's too much going on. I would need to find, like, such a great artist
you'd
to
have
do
to
that.
get
When are you
perfect
getting a
artist or
tattoo?
something like that.
Huh?
When are you getting a tattoo?
Probably never.
Probably never.
Yeah.
You're not gonna.
I can't
You
decide.
don't. You commitment and.
If I haven't gotten one at this point,
No.
like...
I can't see you ever getting a tattoo. To be honest,
No?
it's not.
No, I remember one of our friends growing up, and I thought the greatest tattoo idea, he wanted to get the Green Lantern's ring tattooed around his cock. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome. But like,
BB!
yeah, and he couldn't find a tattoo shop around that would do it or something like that. But I'm like, okay, that's cool. But anyway, we're going to move on to our book and discussion today, and that is a continuation of the One Bad Day series with Bane, One Bad Day. We got a really cool cover. All of these have had really cool covers except for Catwoman One Bad Day, whatever reason. She didn't get a cool one. But I think the front and the back are slick. And this is written by Joshua Williamson, who's worked on the current Batman that I just said is the good one. The Flash, Deathstroke, DC's Uncharted series that they did, and fucking tons more. This guy has so much on his roster, basically, for work that he's done. And for the art, we have Howard Porter, who's done The Flash. Lots of, anytime, like a majority of the work with Williamson, these two have paired up with each other. And he did Scooby Apocalypse, which was a fun run of DC comics that came out that were Hanna-Barbera crossovers. And Justice League 3000 and Batman Beyond Unlimited. You're welcome. Whew, yeah. So, the plot of this book, I'm going to give it a rundown here because these people have a way better description than I do. A past, present, and future destroyed by Venom. Bane broke the bat. Bane broke the bat. He's one of the only villains to ever truly vanquish the Dark Knight, but is that all he's ever accomplished? Decades from now, Bane is a washed-up wrestler reliving his glory days in the ring, defeating someone dressed like Batman every day. But when he discovers that there's a new source of venom in the world, he'll do everything he can to shut down the facility it's coming from for good and make sure that no one takes the poison that ruined his life. And this is, I think, an interesting story for Bane, because not that Bane's always a bad guy, but we really see good guy Bane in this one.
Well,
his intentions are good.
Yeah, the thing with Bane is,
not just him thinking his intentions are good and everyone dying.
The thing with Bane, yeah, he's not a conventional Batman villain, and to him, it's really just about all the principle.
Yeah.
It's the fact that nobody's ever beaten him.
Yeah.
And that's the only draw. And can you really fault him and say that he's a bad guy for that?
No. And what I like about this, like the opening of this book, I love it because it's like a wrestling match where Bane is obviously, they mentioned he's just kind of reliving his glory days as a wrestler. And the artwork is just super fun. And he's just like...
Yeah, it captures the feel of Bane pretty good. And he's got the mask.
just breaking the Batman. And one thing that I thought was cool about the art of this book is we get really unique stuff like this page where it's like a million little squares and you see the progress of the fight, but the downfall, it's also a little confusing.
That's confusing, but there's one instance where later on it's even worse.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. We'll get to that because it's a cool page and artistically a cool idea, but you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You don't even have the patience to even like really go through it all.
Right. You know? And so Bane breaks the bat, the guy who's dressed up as Batman, and you're
But it's all staged.
It's all staged. Yeah. At first you think he actually broke his bat because the ref is like, dude, call an ambulance.
Right.
You know?
Because like in Bane, he has like a hallucination during the match and he sees his mom and all that stuff. And it's
Mom! I'm trying to wrestle! God!
Mom can disrupt shit like that. She can.
So on his way out, he's the winner. Everyone's crowding around him because he's the man. He turns down 2 fly honeys just to go home and be he almost looks and acts like Bruce Wayne in this little segment.
And that's the thing. He kind of very much is. Like, he's very much like Bruce.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the kind of thing that people don't really realize about Bane is that he's just not some idiot.
Right.
You know?
And so, like, you can see in his house, he's got, like, the newspaper article of when he broke the Batman and everything. That's, like, his glory moment, right? It's right in the middle of his living room, and it's the biggest thing. It's his crowning
fucking
achievement.
Crown jewel, man.
And someone breaks in, and he stops him, and he finds out it's some kid who's found a leak on some venom on the streets, and so he wants to team up with Bane to take down all the venom production or whatever. And so they go on a road trip. So, of course, while they're going on a road trip, they're like, let's tell a story.
Yeah, they're just recounting, like, you know, Bane's previous history with Batman and their history with Venom, because Batman has just as much hatred for Venom as Bane does.
As Alex Ross does.
Well, not that Venom.
Right.
Venom
right.
But I digress. Venom is hated across the board on this issue.
Yeah, and it's cool because we see a couple different stories of Batman and Bane working together to stop Venom production. And I'm pretty sure this just takes place not too far ahead of our story because it all wraps up together at the end.
And Bane apparently also believes that Batman's dead. Or that he died in the mission in which they were trying to eliminate the last of the Venom.
Oh, because it ends up they confront, who is it, Grudge?
Grudge, who I'm not familiar with.
I don't know the character either, but it's some crazy Venom.
He's a very Hulkoid looking.
Yeah, he's like he almost looks like Doomsday a little bit.
A little like Doomsday, or at first I thought that it was like a juiced up Croc.
Okay.
Killer Croc, but it wasn't him because he had like a mechanical jaw. I don't know who Grudge is.
I don't.
If you people, Batman fans out there, can tell us in like who
is Grudge?
I'm completely unfamiliar, and I'm a Batman fan.
Yeah.
Still don't know. Sorry.
So it turns out, after they're telling all these stories, they get to the facility where this kid told them all the venom was from, and it turns out to be a big setup. Bane gets captured and tied to a chair. The kid gets taken away, and they tell him it was all a setup, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Bane just like fucking hulks out of the chair because they're like beating him up and squeezing on his head.
No, he was biding his time. He could have broke out any time he wanted, but he just waited until they gave him the information.
A practical decision on his part.
Exactly. That's what I needed to know, is what he said. And that's how Bane operates. It's kind of like Marv in Sin City. Remember when he was tied up?
Oh, yeah, just taking it.
Yeah. It basically, like, he could have busted through the ropes anytime he wanted, but he didn't.
Really quick, I want to say that Sin City is probably one of the greatest comic book movies of all time.
100% agreed.
Yeah.
I mean,
still haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
Nick! The original Sin City?
Nick! Dwight McCarthy is like...
That's art, dude.
Oh, dude. Unfucking believable.
You had to be in man.
All right, Nick will get his chastising later.
All right, yeah, we'll get into Nick.
It's gonna be our next episode. It's gonna be Sin City.
Tonight we're gonna show Nick Sin City or something.
Yeah.
I don't care what we have to do, but he has to watch. Anyhow, it reminded me very much of that scene where, like, he just breaks free the ropes.
Yeah.
And he could have at any time he wanted because he's fucking Bane.
Right.
And he was just baiting him for the information.
Yeah.
So then he finds a doctor who's manufacturing.
Dr. Porter, the guy who originally made the Venom or whatever, I think played by our goofy scientist in Batman Forever.
No, actually, you know who played in Batman and Robin, you know who the character that they were portraying was Jason Woodrue.
Really?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Pharaonic man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Jason Woodrue.
Right over my head.
Wasn't that weird?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's Dr. Woodrue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, right over
So
my head.
fucking weird.
So they find out that this dude's been making all the venom and sending it all out, and they basically just have a big fight. The Dr. Porter's all hulked out on venom, and then he's using the kid as like bait to lure Bane in because he's putting venom on him or whatever. But this is the page we were talking about earlier. It's a really cool idea artistically. Because we get that same idea of like with all the squares and everything. And there's even smaller ones which are with just like scratch drawings of what's going on. It's very cool, but I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I like it, but it doesn't. It's, to me, taking the time to get through that, it's too much because it's so undefined and you get.
Does it take you out of the comic?
Yeah,
I know, because it's the climax of the book.
Right,
you know?
right, and I get that. Yeah, it's a long, drawn out fight, but it could have been done more effectively.
Right.
I guess it's just.
But anyway, Bane do what Bane does. Bane does what Bane does. Bane do what Bane do.
He gets his ass beat though.
He does get his ass beat. He gets broken like the Batman.
Broken. He does get broken by Batman.
But he gets back up.
Like Batman.
Yeah, he gets back up. He doesn't give a fuck. And so basically he causes an explosion in the warehouse. All the Venom's destroyed. Dr. Porter is dead, I guess. And we get a cut of Bane after that. He rescues the kid. They get out of there, but now Bane's in a hospital bed. And this is a really cool scene because, half of the hospital is shrouded in shadow, and sitting there just minding his own business, he starts talking to the shadow because he knows that Batman's standing in the room. And so, of course, Batman looms out of the shadows and comes in. And Bane is basically telling him, he's like, look, I beat you because I solved this mystery first, and this is the second time I beat you, and I almost needed this because the first time I beat you, it was my greatest moment, but it ruined me.
Yeah, because that was the pinnacle. And after that, what do you do after that?
Right, so he's
Your
almost
life
like...
is meaningless.
Yeah, he feels almost like whatever his just living is disrespect.
Yeah.
Just because he has no purpose, he's already done the greatest thing in his mind that he can already do. And but Batman, they have a conversation. Batman leaves on a good guy note. He's like, look, I
don't approve of your methods, but I'm grateful for what you've done.
Right. Maybe try to find a purpose in life. And so, of course, then it cuts to Bane's mansion. It's sold, and he's packing up with this young kid to go on a road trip to teach him everything he knows, whatever that means. And he burns the giant picture of him breaking the bat as they drive off into the sunset.
Oh man!
He will now live in the light. Let's see what the last bit of dialogue here is.
So it ends with him grooming the kid.
I mean, like he's like in his 20s.
Yeah, the kid's a drug dealer, and he's like, he's kind of a shitty.
He has nowhere to go, no family to turn to. He says, I may have been created in the dark, but I will now live in the light. As he drives off into the sunset. So I think, like me and James were talking a bit before this, I think it was a good story, but nothing phenomenal. No. It had some good art in there. I like you said, I like all the little squares because you can sit and analyze, what it all is. But when you're reading the book, you just want to.
Yeah,
you want to figure it out. You want to get through it so you can read the story. And so you have to kind of stop intermediately multiple times to be like, what?
Yeah, you're just kind of stuck there for a minute, and it kind of kills the pace a little bit. Like,
right.
Not that there's not... When you're reading a comic book, pace is kind of a thing, and you don't really think of it, but there is a pace.
Yeah, I like to go back and appreciate that.
And, when you go through that, it's just kind of like... I appreciate what they did here, but it's breaking up the story.
Exactly.
Too much,
So, this was nothing fantastic. Still a fun read. I still enjoyed it. And at the end of the day, I'm going to bag and board this one and put it with the rest of my shit instead of setting it on fire.
I think it was pretty good. I just feel like, Bane is a character that deserves a lot of respect, and this book did it pretty well.
And I think my opinion remains true to this day. Is I don't think any of the One Bad Day books have been as good as the first one. It was the Riddler. It was done by Tom King, and it was just fucking phenomenal. And after that, it's like Two-Face was okay, Mr. Freeze was better, Bane was okay. You know, it's just like none of them have been
Catwoman treat.
Hey, you haven't got to Catwoman yet.
I
See how
know
that one treats,
it's probably fucking awesome.
Maybe.
That's why there's a bunch
only
of
hope.
them at the store still, you know. But no, I'll give Catwoman a shot. Like I said, I was just like, dude, I have to like keep it down to 3 or 4 books a week because comic books are getting so expensive and they release so many every week. It's like I can really just. That's why I drop off of so many stories. If it starts to lose interest to me, like you're dead.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford to keep you around if you're not an interesting story.
Yeah. I
So,
get it.
Are
or
there
you have a
more?
cool cover.
Did you notice if there's more Turbo Kids?
No, I think that was just the Turbo Kid comic that came out is just a one shot, and I think that's gonna be it. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%, but unless it's got an Alex Ross cover or it's something I'm into or smutty anime girl or
Smutty anime
bikini
girl
covers,
yeah.
like it's kind of off my radar from here and there, you know. But anyway, like I said, Bane One Bad Day. I'm gonna bag and board it and put it with the rest of them. I would suggest it if you really like Bane. This is gonna do more for you than it did for me.
Hard agree. Me being a big Bane fan, I this is a proper send off for the character, and I feel like if it was done even cinematically, I would be impressed.
Okay.
I mean, even with like the things I like about Bane aren't necessarily the luchador shit, like, you know, the wrestling. It's not the strength. It's his fucking determination and his willpower and his intelligence, man.
His brain is as strong as his muscles.
Yeah, you know, and it's like that's 100%. And people, they just kind of dismiss that. And the Arkham games especially kind of fucked that up.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. I think that it's a good book.
Okay.
Check it out.
So that's all we got for you this week. I have no plans for the next one. Maybe drop us a comment on what you think we should talk about.
Tell us what you guys think.
What do you want?
What do you want? Tell us what you want to improve the channel. What you like if you.
So check out the Western we just watched.
Yep. So check out The Harder They Fall. Read Batman, One Bad Day, Bane, and you'll have a good time with both of them.
I think you'll enjoy it.
And if you liked anything that you saw on this week's episode, make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below. I have to say this because it helps us. So every click helps. Thank you so much. Or drop us a comment telling us that we're idiots, or that we're right, or that we're wrong. You know,
we're all gluttons for punishment here.
Yeah.
You know, we'll all take all the fucking hate mail. I don't care.
Bring it on.
Completely insensitive.
All right.
We're unpopular for a reason.
Exactly. All right. So until next time, we'll see ya.
Later.
Stay spacey, friends. And check out Nightmare Fuel Streaming. Still doing Airlock Shock and Tape Tomb.
Yeah, let's plug our other YouTube channel, Nightmare Fuel Streaming. Check it out if you like horror and
Shameless
sci-fi movies.
self-promotion.
That's right.
Shameless self-promotion. Nothing wrong with it.
Nightmare Fuel Streaming. I know it's a hard name, but you can find
It's a mouthful.
You can
love
figure
you.
it out.
We truly do.
See you on the next one.